Can we have a demonstration from chemistry domain? For biotechnology presentation. If you're ready, you can do, ma'am.
Sneha ma'am from NMMIT. So at that time she had written in the chat box.
Okay.
And there was a question at that time regarding remote triggered experiment. So as what demonstrated by Professor Gangadharan sir in the morning session, remote triggered lab is available currently for mechanical and civil engineering students. So to access that, you can just type RT Labs NITK in Google, and the first link will take you to the RT Lab website.
Any participants from chemistry or biotech domain wish to?
So if you have any queries regarding any of the lab, you can ask over here.
Salma, ma'am, please unmute yourself and you can speak, ma'am. You have shared your screen.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you can go ahead.
In the last step, I am having a bit of a trouble. I am just presenting our bacterial conjugation concept here.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So this is the bacterial conjugation experiment. And the first step says look into the diagram and find out which one is the conjugation part. So it is the second one. So I click on it. And then these are things that are required for bacterial conjugation. Then click on next. And as it is labeled as donor, recipient, and then conjugation part, we'll have to take the pipette, drop it into the donor, and then transfer it. Transfer it into the donor part, then discard the tip, then repeat this for all the 3 test tubes.
Ma'am, you have to add a recipient to recipient tube, ma'am.
Yeah, did it. So all the 3 are added. Then take this test tube into, because this is added, and then what next?
You have on the right side, you have pop-up procedure, ma'am.
Yeah, got it, but there should be a next button.
And just click on that experimental setup, ma'am, where the cursor is. Not the micropipette, ma'am. Just above the, just play.
Madam, this is regarding PCR. Okay, so we'll take the pulmonary PCR. Am I audible? Hello.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, you are audible, sir.
So this is just about the initial copy number. I need to fix, then the amplitude observation here. Okay.
Yeah, this can be used as a tutorial for your theory class.
Tutorial thing.
Or how to interpret the results after your experiment is performed.
Okay. That's it. Just with this. Okay. Thank you, madam.
It can just be an aid for that. Thank you, sir. Any more demonstrations from any domain?
Hello, madam. This is a
Yes,
general
sir.
question. Like we understood all these things, we can even we have been experienced accessing all these things from many years too. So, in a conclusion, if I ask, we have to implement all these virtual labs right now. That's what from our VTU. So, is any VTU is going to do all these virtual lab, new virtual labs. Something like that related to course wise. Is VTU is going to implement course wise against the the prescribed syllabus in the VTU? Again. Okay. Yeah. Ranklum goals. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Add to that point, sir, probably the VTU can assign to the interested institutions to develop probably the virtual labs of their interest. Probably that might be the long-term goal.
True,
I
sir.
hope so, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Because these if you consider the VTU syllabus with maybe the available IITs are very few are available, as we have seen through biology or so and so.
Yeah.
Now, if just a conclusion, sorry, it may not be a suggestion too, that like if suppose if biotechnology panel is there or mechanical, something like that, if we implement.
But really, it is a challenge actually, like to develop the virtual labs, especially related to bio. Okay, even especially in some domains, it's very difficult actually.
Very
but
true.
It's very challenging. Very challenging. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, most of us understood, and now we can implement the same during these pandemics and all.
Correct.
What next was the question? Yeah. Anyway, sir, thanks a lot. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, Professor, can highlight all those things to us.
Good. I'm happy to hear desire to make few more labs and things of that kind. Maybe VTU will take it up. We'll be speaking about it in the session. Of course, I am not sure or VC who will be coming. Maybe some of you obviously there. So we also put forward. Obviously, it is not an easy task. I mean, we have been in this for last years. We know how easy running something in one computer looks can make something for the one computer to run or maybe 30-40 students to run. If you look at the kind of usage now presently, we are seeing not only in India, it is also the overall usage has crossed millions. Actually, it is, I think, 3.2 million is one of the usage which gives statistics is given by the website. So it's a huge activity in terms of computer science domain and other optimizations on such things. I'm sure that each one of you will be able to develop a pedagogy as well as a set of simulations required. Then it has to be tested by different teams before it goes to the server. So there it takes, so even after 10 years of pushing it from all the sides, we could get up to something like 1,200 experiments. Find hurdles and bottlenecks if you are not running away, then this is the right place where you can look at for education. So, thank you.
Professor, you are pioneered in these things, as you mentioned, 1,200 experiments. It was interesting to know that, because we were thinking like after this workshop, whatever, it should not end. So I think that's what, because even we were thinking that if even, after the exam, say for example, when they want to prepare for the practicals, they can access the experiment, they can recall the experiment. I think, that may be the better thing for the students. So they can come back and they can do the better experiments. So all these things, because you are, connected to the VTU right now, I think this is an interesting, thing which has, happened. Yeah.
NITK will handhold VTU, and either VTU can develop only for VTU or VTU can develop for the entire India. I mean, there is nothing called you develop and keep it in a common. Everyone will be able to.
So, no, Professor, even when we go through new education policies, and recently we had a lot of discussions, and they were also BVB Hubli has done some of these kind of things, and they were comparing with Harvard and MITs. So new education policies, if they are developed, and these are all the must things has to be done. Yeah, regarding that, I think all these things will help a lot, Professor. Yeah.
Thank you. In fact, there was a lot of participation from VTU now. Of course, some of the comments like chemical engineering waiting for a long time. Of course, if you had 250 participants from chemical engineering, we could have given you one more additional day. But VTU found maybe 5 days itself was slightly more for them as well as for us. Because remember, all of us have to spend time for this. Hope we will find more time and see more demonstrations. But in my opinion, once you get exposed, I don't think somebody need to tell you that how to do it. It is normal. Whatever we do it in the class, we can, as as simple as that we can do. I don't think further demonstrations are required. But if you have any difficulty, you can obviously, if it is an NITK made lab, please get back to NITK, solve at nitk.edu.in. Otherwise, you can put it to corresponding lab coordinator or support at in VLab website. It will be support at vlab.co.in. So you can do that.
Sir, can we get the support from your end in case if we need for development of these virtual labs?
Yeah, we are trying to make a formal activity with the VTU.
Okay.
Because if individual institutions comes, then we will be in trouble because 200 and odd institutions become very difficult. So what we said is everything has to come through VTU, and Professor Rashmi Madam has said all that will be taken care from VTU side itself. So they are also planning something. Hopefully today, I don't know whether they will announce something or they want to wait for some more time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I think the valedictory is planned at 4:30, I believe. Beryl, can you check with them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Srishta, can you send a message, or if someone... Srishta, feedback form.
Yes.
Yeah, feedback form is given by us or VTU?
It's by us, sir. So once
Okay.
after the session, feedback form will be mailed to the participants, and it will be open for the specified amount of time. So requesting all the participants to fill the feedback form within the specified time. So only the registered participants, and if you have filled the feedback form, only then you'll get the certificate.
Sir, can I have a question? My question to Professor Gangadhar, sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, no, you mentioned that you have developed 1,000 odd experiments. How did you do? Like, whether you involved the students in developing these things, or like, are the only faculty were involved in the developing this? Because I was thinking that if you suppose I'm a biotechnology, I have 12 experiment prescribed from VTU. So can I give, because students are better than us in the sense we are very smart in they know programming, they are good in electronics. So, like, can we give them these things as small projects so that they can come up with, these kind of virtual labs? Or how did you do a single day job? And, I was curious to know whether you have given to the students were eagerly involved, or you faculty were involved.
This question was I mean, I was hoping that somebody will have this question. Odd experiments, when I said it is for all the consortium partners together, we have, I think, 15 labs. Each lab will have more than 10 experiments. Some of them may be more, 23 experiments in one lab. And in our case, all the experiments, all that what you see, which is by NITK, are done by students and monitored by the faculty member, checked and verified. Even then, there could be one or two errors, a few errors here and there, but it has gone through 3-4 levels of checking. After we make an internal group checks how it is, then it is given to IIT Bombay for one level of expert scrutiny. Then IIT Delhi looks at it. Then it is sent for the uploading in by IIT Hyderabad. That is a procedure. We were the probably only group who said we will get it done through students, whereas all others tried through professionals. All the forms are possible, but I believe we should depend on the students. It's going to be tough because they are young and they have.
So in addition to that,
extra experiment has to be. Yeah, sorry. In NBA, we will do some extra experiment has to be conducted, etc. Like as you are mentioning that, students will land up with the new ones. It will be good to have these kind of things. Yeah. Sorry, sir. Ashok, sir, can go ahead.
Sir, it requires a lot of coordination among the department, because as we are from Biotech department, so we need a lot of help from computer science. So we need to take into consideration that also, depending upon the virtual lab which we are going to develop. I think probably at the department, at the institution level, we need to have a lot of coordination between the departments. Is really if you want to develop
interdisciplinary.
Yeah, and even the students also from different branches, they need to coordinate and then work together to come out with a product here.
That is one condition for Center for System Design.
Okay.
If someone has to come and work, they have to come with another person or from a different department. Then we will allow them to work. If they say we are all from electronics, we have no project. If you say electronics, mechanical, computer, all together, they come. And we also make sure that they finish the task and go. Otherwise, it's going to be tough because we will be spending our time on them.
Correct.
So,
otherwise, all the effort will get wasted actually. Somewhere in case if it stops somewhere in the middle. Thank you, sir.
Sir, can I put in a few words?
Please go ahead, madam.
Till now, we have been looking into how we can use the virtual labs with respect to lab-based experiments. My point is, as long as it can also match with our curriculum theory also, if that can be looked into in terms of adding on experiments, it need not be restricted only to our lab-based work. It can also be a part of where I can take my I can open it in front of the class as I teach it. I can open something and can simulate and show. So maybe the experiments which we try to put in can also be in a wholesome way of looking into the curriculum rather than only lab-based experiments, I feel, sir. I don't know.
In fact, madam, that is a purpose. We said the VLab for online classes and lab. Lab is only a smaller portion in this. Actually, if you look at every semester, every branch may have 2 labs, sometimes 3 labs. That means throughout one beta curriculum, how many labs? But the number of labs which we are trying to develop is to make sure that, to put it in simple terms, if you want to teach Boyle's law, Charles' law, or both PV by T equal to a constant for gas, you should be able to do that in the virtual lab. And that's what we are looking at. And any concept which you want to experience, we should be able to put that as a lab. And the concept of lab is not necessarily in the VTU syllabus. It is there for the final exam. Out of 10 experiments, 3 has to be by-hearted and produced. That is not the one which we are looking at. We are looking at, can it be a tool for online education, or can it be a tool for by physical class itself, so that people get an experiential learning of the basic concept. What Prabha Madam said is absolutely right. We are also looking at making sure every concept is made into experiential learning component in it. That is one of my mission as such, because we want to see we develop in a community way, develop every concept into an experiential module.
So participants, are there any more further queries?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you alert Madam from
Yes,
VTU?
sir. Actually, yeah, I spoke to her. So valedictory will be at 4:30. So they are waiting register to join, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So we will be having the valedictory function in couple of minutes. So until then, if any of the participants have any further queries, maybe lab specific, domain specific, if not uh, on a generalized way on virtual labs, so you can clarify over here. And I think Chaitra ma'am it was. So was the lab on virtual electric circuits is that working, ma'am, now? Did you try out that if she's available? Requesting all the participants to be in the session. So we'll be having a quick valedictory function now.
Without them. No, I'll tell. We'll be starting in few minutes. Hello, Shrestha.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are just Resta sir is in another meeting. He'll be joining us in few minutes. So we'll be starting the function very soon.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so participants, if you have queries on any of the labs, you can just clarify over here. Requesting all the participants to be in the session. Yeah, requesting all the participants to be in the session, waiting for the registrar to. You can ask if you have any queries right now only. Yes, sir. Waiting to be concluding in few minutes.
Shrestha? Shrestha?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll start the validatory function now. Can you just announce it?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Good evening.
Dear participants, now we are ending the today's session as well. So we have one and all present over here. So we on 19th. So 19th we had FDP session completely for civil engineering and allied branches. Tuesday, that is on 20th, we had for mechanical engineering domain and allied branches faculty members. Next was for electronics and allied branches. Yesterday we had for computer science, information science, and allied branches faculty members FDP for them. And today it was the last day of FDP. And we are towards the end of today's session. So now the session is for the valedictory. So we are moving on to the valedictory function of this FDP. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the valedictory function of 5 days FDP on virtual labs organized by VTU and NITK Surathkal. We welcome Dr. Karisidappa, Vice Chancellor of Vishweshwara Technological University, Belagavi. We welcome Dr. K.V. Gangadharan, Participating Institute Coordinator, Virtual Labs Head, and we welcome all the resource persons from NITK Surathkal, Dr. Sheena, Dr. Mohit, Dr. Prithviraj Umesh, and their team members. We welcome Dr. Anandesh Deshpande, the Registrar of Vishweshwara Technological University, Belagavi. We welcome Dr. Satish Annigeri, the Registrar Evaluation, VTU, Belagavi. We welcome Dr. Rashmi Raj, Coordinator, Virtual Labs at VTU, Belagavi. We welcome Dr. Sandhya P., Special Officer, VTU Learning Center, Mysuru. We welcome Mr. Shravan BK, Special Officer from VTU. We welcome all the participants to this valedictory function. I request Mr. Shravan BK to present the report on the FDP.
Thank you, ma'am. To say this 5-day FDP organized by VTU in collaboration with NITK Surathkal is a success is just an understatement. The response from all the colleges of VTU across all the regions has been splendid. The number of registrations have crossed 250 each day. We should appreciate the accommodative nature of NITK, where even though the registrations crossed the limit of 250, they went ahead and streamed the sessions on YouTube to help the rest of the faculty members. Many participants who are not official attendees were able to take the advantage of the public live streaming on YouTube. To specifically mention, there were over 1,300 viewers at a time during the day 3 forenoon session of electronics and communication and allied branches. The edited versions of all the sessions will be put on YouTube for further reference of faculty and students as well. Here are a few brief statistics about the registrations. On day 1, we had around 298 registrations, day 2, 333, day 4, 464, day 4, 417, day 5, 298. The attendance was also overwhelming all the 5 days. I thank all the organizers and the participants for making this FTP a huge success. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shravan, for your report. Now it's time for feedback by the participants. I'll call upon the participants one by one. Kindly introduce yourselves and share your feedback. First, I would like to call upon Dr. Komala. Dr. Komala, could you share your feedback? I request Dr. Ratan Patil to share his feedback.
Okay, good evening, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak something. I thank Virtual Labs, VTU, Registrar Sir, and NITK Surathkal for providing this platform. Actually, we had the session on second day of the FDP program for mechanical and allied branches. So we had wonderful sessions on SOM lab, that is strength of materials lab, and fluid machinery. And in the afternoon session, we had hands-on experience on mechanical vibrations lab and DOM lab. So whatever the experience that was being shared by the virtual labs and the NITK was really well enriching. And we could see all the practical problems that have been encountered during the sessions of the theory classes have been solved. Labs are under development, like the design lab, foundry and forging lab, heat transfer lab. And the IITs and the NITs have taken an initiative to complete that also. It was wonderful on VTU side as well as NIT and virtual labs that they have organized this FDP so well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ratan. We'll just call the next participant, Dr. Kumar Raju. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Kumar Raju, Associate Professor, Civil Engineering Department, Subtagiri Engineering College, Bangalore. So, first of all, I thank you for a great course and great presentation style with lots of opportunity to ask questions and talk about real demonstration with course. This has more than met my expectation, and it's wonderful practical course for professionally all our faculty members. Thank you. Thank you, VTU. Thank you, NITK. Thank you, Gangadhar sir.
Thank you, sir. May I call upon Dr. Jagdish Kumar D, sir?
Yes, madam. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, one and all, and respected VTU officials. Thank you very much, professors, for giving this opportunity, to arranging this nice program, which is the need of the hour during this pandemic. Since, as we know, that labs are very important components of education system, and programs of this kind has come out at the right time, I personally feel. And we hope that in the coming month, many more labs will be, individual subjects will be added to according to domain, especially life sciences, because I belong to biotechnology, where we won't see much of the virtual experiments across the biotechnology. And we will be more happy that, we have our own VTU virtual lab site, like how we have seen IIT or Amrita, etc. So if our VTU has a domain-wise, like subject-wise, we have these experiments according to the syllabus, so which can enhance the knowledge, technical knowledge of the students, and for the long-term repeated learning can be achieved. And I personally feel, madam, all these things can also, as the national education policy, what presently, it has done, and it may down the line, it can help all of us. And also, like, we can extend, developing extra experiments, which can be useful for NBA, what I personally feel, madam. All the, organizers, and of course, special thanks to the VTU officials and NITK professors for giving us an opportunity at this right time to enhance this thing, so that we can deliver the best of the best to the students at this pandemic. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Gangadharan KV, the Participating Institute Coordinator and Head Virtual Labs at NITK Surathkal, to address the gathering.
Very pleasant good evening to everyone. It's a nice moment after 5 days of active interaction with faculty members. Barring one day, every day morning, I started the program. Of course, that day I had a class which I could not miss. Otherwise, it was a beautiful experience for all of us. Because every time when we meet different group of faculty members, we get to learn more than how much you learn from us. because we have understood the way in which each one of you, especially when you have interacted with us, how you look at the subject. And our interest is to make for every subject experiential learning content. And let us find reason to do rather than finding one reason for not doing. So even if it is a pandemic situation like this, let us provide the way our students need to go forward. Let us provide the maximum to our students. And that makes us or keeps us happy. So in that way, I congratulate Visvesvaraya Technical University and its administrative team who took a bold step, and so proud that it's the first university to take such a step, saying that yes, we are going to make sure that faculty training program is conducted. We'll ask every institute become nodal center, and fortunately, one institute within Karnataka is also a participating institute, and we are close by. So please make use of us and make sure that VTU gets its own share of virtual lab for every subject. Every subject in VTU syllabus, we should be able to create virtual labs. I'm sure with the kind of energy and enthusiasm the administration has, along with the support from many of the participants, when we had interaction, we could find the energy that yes, there are sufficient number of people who can contribute, and I'm sure that we should be able to get a complete lab for VTU as a virtual lab, and we can even put that in the national website, making sure that yes, Karnataka's towards education become global, and people will be able to see what you develop along with NITK going everywhere and making you students and teachers making use of it. And as your professor has given the statistics, it was quite enriching experience for us. We have touched around 6,000 people on virtual lab. Some of them may be repetition because we had gone to more than 40 colleges to give physical workshops earlier. But this was a good opportunity to interact with maximum number of people. Even if I had to travel to every college, I don't think I could have covered this many in 5 days. So sometimes this pandemic become a positive side, or rather we can look at this from the positive side. Around 6,000 people getting at least, I don't say trained, because exposed to virtual lab is something a great effort. So congratulations VTU and my team who have swagged for all the 5 days, coordinating and taking care of all the issues which participants have put. If you like something, please tell others. If you did not like something, please inform us. Let us improve. And thank you, VTU, and thank you, participants, and thank you for the good comments. Back to Madam.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Satish Adigeri, a register evaluation, to address the gathering.
Good evening to everybody. Professor A.S. Deshpande, Registrar. Dr. K.V. Gangadharan, Coordinator from the NITK and his team, and faculty from NITK. All coordinators from VTU, Dr. Rashmi Raj, Dr. Purnima Patil, Shravan, and Dr. Sandhya, and all the participants of VTU. As I said in the inaugural, this I think is going to be a milestone. Learning through experience, everybody knows, is very important and the best way to learn. And I think now we have an opportunity where we can start implementing it instead of just talking about it. I'm sure that all the faculty members who have participated have gained new insights into how things could be taught in an experiential way. And I also hope that all the experiments that are available will help the students experience what they're learning. I also hope that this is going to give the faculty of VTU an opportunity to contribute some of their own experiments in the future. It is always necessary to start as consumers of something, but at one point or the other, we must move to be creators. And I'm sure that somewhere along the line, we will also become creators. And I hope that there will be an opportunity for our own faculty to create new virtual labs. I'm sure that this has been a learning experience for everyone. And I'm sure that all of us will gain by participating in this FDP. I wish all of you a very good and happy Dasara coming forward. And I also hope that this has been a very productive time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Anand Deshpande, Registrar VTU Belagavi, to give the concluding remarks.
Thank you, Madam. Professor Satish Andigiri, Professor Gangadharan, Professor Rashmi, Professor Purnima, Professor Sravan, the technical team, the participants, and the team from NITK Surathkal. At the outset, I must place on record our sincere thanks and appreciation to the team from NITK Surathkal led by Professor Gangadharan and of course our own team from VTU for this wonderful concept of organizing the faculty development program for the teachers on virtual labs. As rightly said by Professor Gangadharan and Professor Satish, the learn by doing is something which is very important. And always in a typical teaching learning process, it is not what is taught is important, what is learned is more important. And to have the effective learning happening, I think the hands-on and, the exposure to certain, the content in a more effective manner is extremely essential. And virtual labs certainly help us to achieve this objective. As we all know, the present trend of the teaching learning mechanisms is to focus more on the experiential learning, as rightly said by Professor Gangadharan. So I think for all these project-based learnings or the case-based learnings, or understanding the mechanisms or the outputs based on the variation in the parameters or controlling the variables, so many the elements which we generally touch in the engineering education certainly could be understood in a most effective manner by using such wonderful platforms like virtual labs. Of course, as already mentioned by our Honorable Vice Chancellor in the opening session, every teacher we expect that should use the virtual lab, not just use the virtual lab, but also need to contribute to the library of virtual lab by designing and deploying an experiment. And I'm sure the teachers of the university would certainly come forward for his appeal to be the part of this wonderful project. Once again, on my personal behalf and on behalf of the university, I thank each one of you for doing a wonderful job. Wish you a very happy Dasara. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's time to propose vote of thanks. We thank Dr. Katsidappa, Vice Chancellor VTU Belagavi, for his constant motivation and support to conduct these activities. We thank Dr. K.V. Gangadharan, the participating institute coordinator and head virtual labs from NITK Surathkal, for all his support. We thank all the resource persons, Dr. K.V. Gangadharan, Dr. Sheena, Dr. Prithviraj Umesh, Dr. Mohit, and their support team for conducting this FDP successfully. We thank Dr. Anand Deshpande, Registrar VTU Belagavi, who has supported us in all our endeavors. We thank Dr. Satish Andigiri, Registrar Evaluation, for his valuable guidance. We thank Dr. Rashmi Raj, Coordinator V Labs VTU, for all her support. We thank the VTU coordinators of this FDP, Dr. Sandhya P. and Professor Shravan B.K. for all their efforts. And we thank the staff of CNC for their technical support. We thank all the participants who have come enthusiastically from all various colleges across Karnataka. And without their participation, this FDP would not be. So because of their participation, this has been a huge success. So once again, I thank each one of you for contributing towards this FDP. Thank you. Sir, Professor Gangadharan, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We'll just conclude this program for all your support, sir.
And from VTU side, it was a great support. We had some difficulty in the first day. Madam Rashmi came quickly, took the right decision and put things in the order. That was a great honor for all of us, because otherwise we might have got really into trouble. But it was altogether a great effort from VTU side. And I also appreciate my team. They were literally having night outs because we had to plan for the next day. We have not given any gap. So every day they had to work quite late to make sure the next day program is going on well. So thank you, team NITK, and thank you, team VTU. We'll conclude now, madam.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll just mention Beryl, your research fellows, Beryl and Shrestha, they were very good. I mean, I have disturbed them all throughout, but it went really well. And it was not me. I mean, I had support from all the coordinators. So I want to thank them. Thank you. And thanks to our officials for this. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thanks to all the participants. So we'll be ending the session now. Thank you.